Okay, so this is part 3 of Pokemon Uranium playthrough. So last we met, I had just defeated the second gym leader. So now I'm on my way to the next town. And there is no Pokemon or anything I can get in between here and there, so we're good on that part. The Pokemon are expressly hostile in this cave. They're ganging up on trainers. For your safety, we won't allow you to pass. Is that a Bright Gym badge? Well, you must be a strong trainer. However, I still don't think you should go in alone. Hey, why can't I go in this cave? I'm not afraid. Wait, I know. Me and him can tackle the cave together. And he's like, alright. So I gotta babysit Theo through this cave. Which is fine. Theo's a good kid. So this is a mechanic from Black and White where you go through a certain area with a constant partner, and it's amazing for leveling up. Because not only is every battle a double battle, so you're getting double the experience, but at the end of every battle, your partner will fully heal all your Pokemon every time. Now, I don't really need to grind, so, you know, whatever, but it's great. It's a cool mechanic. It's cool. But we're just gonna power through this cave and try to get to the next town. I was thinking about how the storyline might go. And I was thinking maybe it's gonna be kind of simple. You know, it seems like, cause you look at Cameron's, Theo's dad, Cameron, and he has like anime hair, and so I think he's a villain. I think he's a bad guy, because if you remember, he was only there on that day. He didn't normally work there. He was sent there that day to do an inspection, and then suddenly everything went from good to we're all gonna die. So I don't know how much I believe the coincidence of him being there on the day a meltdown happens. I think he's a bad guy. And I don't know what that would mean for Theo. That wouldn't be good. But that's my game theory right now. I was just thinking about what the story could possibly be. But yeah, there isn't much in this cave item wise, so it's really just get through it scenario. But at the end of this cave is the first boss of the game, so that's cool. We're getting real strong, as you see. You know, Rojo's almost level 20. I don't know how that will bode for the gym leader. If it's going to be as easy as last time, I don't know. We got an HP up. I don't know who I should give it to, because like Rojo has the least HP, but like to me that tells me like even giving them an HP up won't matter. He's still gonna be bad at HP. So shouldn't I give it to this person who's great at HP, so they're even better at it? I don't know. I may just sell it. Who knows? Oh man. You know, in 4 days, the two big re-releases are coming out. You got Mega Man Battle Network Collection, which in total is 10 games. The issue is, I'm fairly certain, they did no upgrades to it. So essentially that's 10 ROMs. And ROMs costs you nothing to produce. They're already made games. So unless they do something, it's kind of like a waste of money. I think they're charging like 40 plus for it, for 10 ROMs. Which, you know, on the surface, like 10 games, that's $4 a game. Well, like, I'm fairly certain a ROM's value is like a dime in real world money. Like, it's literally nothing. So you're still getting overcharged. So if they didn't alter it in any way, it's terrible deal. And then the other one is Battalion Wars 1 and 2 for the Switch. So that one I am excited for. It is a full remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it. And I haven't played those games in forever, a decade. Decade plus. So I am excited. Oh, here's the first boss. So as you can tell, this is the evolution of the Grozerd or whatever ground snake we've been fighting. So see, he looks neat. He's like a ground dragon. I don't know if he's part dragon, but I was gonna just bubble beam him, and then of course use his magnitude. I was like, oh, yeah. So I was like, well, it did almost half, but I won't survive another magnitude. So let's switch out. Oh, he has arena trap. We can't switch out. Great. But he was growl, which is nice. So you're like, oh, I might kill him. You know, I did half. You know, of RNG. Oh no, I'm still gonna die. And then use growl again, which is hilarious. So because of the AI set the random, I won. I pulled out the impossible. So first boss, easy peasy. Didn't even kill any of my Pokemon. Anywho, so I am excited for that remake. But it's been so long since I even played those games. Like, will I even like them? Like, I feel like I'm going to get the game when it comes out in a few days and be like, oh, I remember this. And then fast forward a couple hours and I'm like, man, I'm good. Because it wasn't like a beloved thing for me. It was just, you know, a neat game. Now, I believe they made a sequel. I don't even know why I say a sequel. I believe they made another game in the series for GameCube. And I liked that game quite a bit. My friend had it. And I remember playing it at his house. And I liked it a lot. But this is not what that is. This is a remake, remaster of the Game Boy Advance games. If they're a direct remake, I don't know. Because turn-based strategy games like that have evolved a lot since then, and I just don't think you could just put that game out now and it be successful. So Nintendo has to have done something to it. But here's the thing, the game has been done for a while now. They delayed the release of it supposedly because of the war in Ukraine. And then the war in Ukraine just never stopped. And so they're like, well, we gotta release it now. But like, it's not Call of Duty. You're fine. You know, it's... Anyway, listen to this. This music with the rain. The shit's great. I love that shit. I could listen to that on loop. Anyway. Yeah, I just don't know if they're going to be any good. But it's interesting that two big franchises, one Capcom, one Nintendo in some respects. There may be a lesser company that technically makes it, but I consider it a Nintendo game. Are coming out on the same day. But they seem to be very different. One is just a port, and the other is work was put in. But I feel like I like the Mega Man Battle Network games more than Battalion Wars. So even though Capcom put no effort in, when I eventually do play it, regardless if they put it on crazy sale, because Capcom games go real cheap from time to time, or if I end up renting it, I kind of feel like I'll like that more, and that's kind of not fair. That a cheap cash grab really is more successful just because the game is better to me. But that's how the cookie crumbles. What can you do? Hopefully it'll be successful. Like I said, it's been delayed for over a year. So I don't think they were working on it. I think it was gold, a term meaning the game was done. So I don't think it was an extra year of polish. I think it was an extra year of just sitting there. But we'll see. I'm still looking forward to it. I just have a feeling it aged poorly. There's the professor. How unexpected. Good to see you, mate. There's an emergency at the lab. Oh no. They're flustered. Tragic. You never want to see a good man flustered. Professor Cypress. That's condescending. Is that condescending? No, it's not condescending. It's little egotistical. The head professor, the name of the lab is named after them. What has she done? Case side note, she just called him Ernest. So Bambo the professor is named Ernest Bambo. Great name. Great name. Your parents love you. Anyway, but yeah, like, I'm sure she's great. But the name, like, while you're working there, that's weird. It's like you walk into, I don't know. I can't even think of I guess Amazon, but it was called Bezos. I work at Bezos. Who's your boss, Bezos? That's weird. I could see him doing that, though. So this place got broken into. The thief didn't take the most important thing, the Pokemon speech translator that they're working on. They only took the Pokemon, which is kind of fucked up. They're like, oh, they only took the stupid fucking Pokemon. They left the real prize. Like, that's probably why they took them from you, that you're saying that. So they found one of them, returned them, and now they're going to use the translator on it. And the little guy says, scary, so scary, was in my Pokeball asleep. Suddenly I was moving, but not human friend. Taking me to the cave, I fell out and was free. So this person stole the Pokemon to set them free. But as you saw, this Pokemon wasn't being treated badly. He considered these people that he works with at the labs as friends. So, just as I've always said, people always come up and like, oh, your Pokemon are being forced to fight, it's messed up, it's animal cruelty. They're not being forced to fight. In this world, for whatever reason, I'll make up the rules, they love it. They love fighting. They love getting stronger, and they love being with their human. It's just what they are. I mean, dogs love being with humans. They evolved with us, and they love being with us. Pokemon probably are the same way. They have aspirations. So I like to think that a lot of Pokemon want to be strong, and they know that humans are the best way to get strong. And they don't gotta look for food anymore. It's a good gig. Not all Pokemon. I'm sure there's plenty of Pokemon that don't want to fight. But, the label it that it's like the real world counterpart, it's not the same. Pokemon are smart. They understand human speech and everything else. Now, not all Pokemon are created equal. There's Pokemon that are way smarter and Pokemon that are way dumber. But they're like sentient creatures. I mean, I consider most animals sentient in some aspect. But like all Pokemon are like higher life form than the average animal. Like if you give like certain credence to elephants and gorillas and stuff, I consider Pokemon all to be at least on that level. So yeah, it's not the same, you know, in my opinion. And that could be me just defending something I like. I like Pokemon, so I don't want to view them as being used or abused, you know. But I just really don't think that's how it is. You know, it's just not the same parallel as our world. They're completely different. This world is wrapped in, like, no violence. Crimes just don't really happen. And I think that's why there's criminal organizations that spring up. Because, like, there's such a lack of crime that it just builds up. There's no, like, no outlet. So maybe you could turn it that way. That, like, maybe there's an oppressive regime and that's why it seems like everything's perfect in the Pokemon world. That could be an interesting angle to take. Like, you think Pokemon world is perfect in every way and it's not. But I consider it perfect. Kind of like Star Trek. It's like an ideal world. There's no racism. There's no bigotry. Where we've evolved as a human species above that. That's why Star Trek's cool. Okay, so this guy stole the Pokemon. We used the translator to hear him. And that was the only way we were able to understand him. So he is a Pokemon. So he's a Pokemon who is using Pokemon as if he is a trainer. Which is interesting. A Pokemon trainer. His name is Garlic Kid. So Garlic Kid. So these are the Pokemon he stole. So he's using them to fight us. So that's why they're pretty strong. So I had no clue what type he was. I knew he was fighting, and then he finally used this move. He used ground. I was like, he's fighting ground. I'm just assuming. So I knew who to switch to. But yeah, I always picture Pokemon as a utopia of sorts. Like, when people think about, like, oh, what if the Pokemon world is real? It'd be so fun to train Pokemon and stuff. I don't even think of it like that. I think of it like, what a world would it be where the biggest, like, strife in your life is like, I'm not as good as a trainer as I wanted to be, or something. Like, the world is just perfect. That's what I care more about. Now, I would love to raise a Pokemon, but I have to think about it in real terms. You know, in real life, I'm not any more special than the average Joe. So why suddenly, if I was thrust into this world, would I suddenly be a G at Pokemon training? Because that means everyone else in the world would also have the same opportunities as me. And so I still don't think I'd have to drive to be that. So I care way more about how the world is than what I get to do in the world. Oh shit. Bashan is evolving. Hopefully I can teach him Brick Break now. I believe that boy is dabbing. We got a dabber. Learn Seismic Toss. It's not good, but it's better than Leer. He's dabbing. Kind of. We lost, but how? Why do you make Pokemon fight? They don't want their freedom? They're your friends? That's impossible. Pokemon and humans can't coexist. And the Pokemon's like, shh, you're crazy, fool. We're leaving. And he's like, comrades, you're going back? Why? You'll pay for this, human. So long as there are Pokemon that are being held against their will, I, Garlic Kid, the Pokemon hero, will be there to save them. I'll be back. Alright. Let me grab this. It's Torment. Shouldn't have grabbed it. Who cares? Going. We're leaving. And look, all my friends are here. So yeah, that's why I always liked certain animes, you know, that were like slice of life, because like there's no, I don't know, there's no like pain and suffering in those. It's pretty cool life. You just hang out with your friends and you go to like the beach. Seems fun. Nothing really happens. It's nice. But so apparently these Pokemon Garlic kids are really rare. You don't really see them, and they stay away from humans, and so because of that, they're speculating that this Garlic kid has never seen a human ever. So when he saw Pokemon and humans coexisting, he in his brain saw, oh, they're captured, they're prisoners. But that wasn't the case this time. Obviously that does happen. So they were treating this as also a field test of the translator. And so it was a resounding success, and now they're letting me keep it so I can talk to Pokemon now. And yes, in the game, if I go up to those Pokemon you see while just walking around and click on them, yeah, they do have stuff to say now. So it's pretty cool. And then the professor's gushing. He's like, "You're so cool. You got 2 badges. You're so cool." And he gives you experience share, which is nice. When I get, you know, the next Pokemon, be it an Eevee or something called a Chicotle, Chicoatl, Chicoatl, whichever's first. It'll be good getting catch up, because this game has also a great function that I like when is in Pokemon games, but it's not in all of them, where depending on your level when you defeat a Pokemon and the level of the Pokemon when you defeat them dictates the experience. So how old Pokemon worked and a bunch of even new Pokemon work. It's not every Pokemon game that's like this. Say level 23 Goldeen, you would get a set amount of experience for that Goldeen no matter what. If you're level 99 or level 1, it's worth the same amount. Right. Well, now there's a experience modifier placed on that. So if you were level 1, defeated a level 20, you would get the normal experience you'd get times a certain magnitude of difference, right? And then if you'd have 100, no, not 100, but 99, and defeat a level 20, the magnitude is just reversed. So if you were level 99 and defeated a level 20, you'd probably get like 2 experience, maybe. But the opposite, a level 1 defeat a level 20, you would get like 1,000 some experience. So that really helps with not grinding as much and making sure you don't get too strong. You know, if you're 4 levels higher than the strongest Pokemon you're fighting, you're getting no experience for fighting these. So it slows you down so the game can catch back up. So like in a racing game, a lot of racing games have rubber banding, where if you're way out ahead, all the cars behind you start going really fast. So you're making them faster than they normally were. And same thing, if you're way behind, they go slower. So similar. It's to help rein the game into a certain pocket it wants to keep you. Now you can brute force your way to way stronger, or mess up the way weaker, but it's just another way to make sure the game stays within a certain parameter, and that way you can design the game better from a scaling standpoint. It makes it more you're more honed in on what level you should or shouldn't be. And I think from a design standpoint, it's much easier to design interesting battles and difficult battles if you know pretty much what level the people should be at this point. So, very cool. A lot of Pokemon games have it and a lot don't. So I'm just happy that this is one that does have it. It's good. It's a good thing. So, yes, very good, very good. So yeah, now that our boy's evolved, he's a problem. Which is great. I love it. Oh, PP up. That's good. Okay, so this is the cave we were in earlier with Theo. This is just a back way into the cave, but you can't go in without strength. So, really no reason to come in here, but I didn't know that till I already came in, and so I had to fight, like twice. Not gonna train Rojo, so put him back front. Silver Wind, decent move. No one can learn it. Now, when I get the Bug Eyes, I bet he can learn it. We'll try then. I mean, he'll be like level 50, so it probably won't be worth teaching, but that's not the point. Yeah, Rojo, man. He's strong. He really, I mean, is a lot like Talonflame. Talonflame is so strong. And I know they're the same type, and they're both birds. I get it. Of course they're similar, but just the way they fight. Like, Talonflame is fast and strong, but he can't take a hit as much as others. So his whole design is, I'm going to attack first, and I'm going to kill you, so you can't hit me back. And that seems to be what he's doing. Okay, see this? See this scary thing? That is the evolution of that cute blue spider. And that is just a spider with a shit ton of baby spiders on its back. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And do you have to feed them? And think about it as a trainer. Oh, it's time to eat, feeding my Pokemon. Are there really like 50 of those normal spiders you saw on them? You have to feed all of them? Can they never leave? It's kind of like Execute. Like, if you take one away, what happens? I don't know. They did say if one falls off from the Executor, they become an Execute. They de-evolve. So, I don't know. It's just stuff they never planned on ever having to explain, and they never do. But when you just think about it, you're like, well, how's that even work? What? You know? Like, do ghost Pokemon eat? And if they don't, can they never die? Will they outlive you? And if so, why aren't there ghost Pokemon everywhere? Do they eventually transcend into the heavens? I don't know. It's just stuff I thought about. I mean, the ultimate answer is it's a video game, but I would like to know. I would like to ask, you know, the people who make this game, not Uranium, but just Pokemon in general, just ask to see what kind of gobbledygook they come up with. They're like, oh yeah, that's, this would happen. I'm like, alright. Because I'll accept any answer. They made the damn game. I'm okay. But I would like to force them to answer. That's canon, boys. You pray to Jesus and Gengar goes away. Remember that. This guy's neat. Like, little dude. He has an ability. I don't know if you saw him use it. Well, I guess he didn't use it. But if he uses a bite move, it turns any bite move into a move that heals you. Like Leech Life. That's really cool. But we're not using him. So who cares if he's cool? He's lame to me. Lame-o. Oh no, little spider guy. And he's gone. Yeah, beat up's not a good move. But when you're stronger, it hits 6 times. So it's gonna defeat most. We're leveling up pretty quick. Like, we're going against level 15s, but they're evolved now. And so I'm getting a lot of experience. Like, look at this thing. Like 247 for a level 15. Oh my god, we learned a better poison move. He knows sludge. The boy is growing up. He's a sludge man. Like his father. You love to see it. So he's got Bubble Beam Sludge. So now we just need a better non-poison water move. Because right now it's still Pound. I did teach him Return. So that's okay. I think he likes me. This is the evolution of the S'more. As you could guess. Look, 861. I know it was boosted, but still. See, beat him in one. I'm a monster. 729. Oh, revenge. Alright, bye, low kick. This little fall place is neat looking. In Black and White, when the season changed to fall, it was cool. What was that place? It may have been X and Y. No, it was Black and White, I think. Is that forest after the first gym where you find the Dragonite scroll? That forest was neat. I like that forest. Ooh, a rare candy. Ooh, piece of candy. There's a breeder. With a bucket. I assume it's a bucket of cum, since she's a breeder. Here's a bucket of it. Electric. Dude, crits for days. Boss frog. Sludge. Ow. So that was a crit. Only to 30. You're weak. You don't belong to be on this earth, Flaffy. Yeah, I'm growing levels like crazy. At the start of this video, I was like level 17. 18. And I've already grown 6-7 levels on all of my Pokemon. This is the evolution of Wooten. Looks dumb. Ooh, Aerial Ace. You know, I didn't remember grabbing that. So next time I get on, I'm definitely seeing if someone can learn that. That's not Rojo, because I'm pretty sure Rojo is pure special attack. So we'll keep Air Slash, but it's nice to have. It doesn't miss and it's decently strong. Aerial Ace. So yeah, I totally forgot I even picked that up. I really want someone to learn Giga Drain. I know my next guy feasibly is a grass type, so he'll be able to learn it, but you get it so early and I just have no one to learn it. Ooh, Recycle. Horrible TM, thank you. Dude, he's an expert? Oh no. And his name's Benjamin? Oh no. Kokoron. He was actually a possibility for the party. He evolves twice. But the guy who's Grass Dragon is definitely cooler than him. And he's grass something. Grass water, grass rock, I don't remember. So he didn't make the cut because he looks stupid. He's a coconut. Super Repel. Dude, there's so many trainers. And I feel like I'm going like in circles. And so I'm like, have I gone this way? That's the evolution of Burby. Also, a cool thing this game does that a lot of fake Pokemon games and even real Pokemon games don't do is they don't do idle animations anymore. This game, certain Pokemon have idle animations, and that's cool. Not all of them, but the fact that any have is cool. I forget which game they started that in. I think Crystal, when you sent out a Pokemon, they would do a little jig, and then that's it. They wouldn't like continue to do it. I think Crystal's the first one. I remember I was at Walmart, and they always have demos, and they had a demo of Ruby and Sapphire, I think. I could be misremembering it, but it was definitely a demo of that age of Pokemon games. And I remember you could only go to a certain point, like not even the first gym, not even that far. And I ran into like a Zigzagoon or something, and it was like shaking its butt and constantly moving. I was like, this is the future. This is the future of everything. I was just blown away with how beautiful that game was. Like, it still looks good, but back then, especially in my head, it was just jaw-dropping. I still remember the first time you go to an area in Ruby and Sapphire that has water on the ground from rain, and you see the reflection of the clouds above you. Oh my god, I didn't know such a thing was doable. You know? And then you fast forward to current Pokemon, and it looks like someone just bought some assets on Unity and just plopped them on. But back in the day, they for sprite animation, there was no better. They were putting it down on sprite animation. And then clearly you saw they didn't know how to do 3D modeling. But Nintendo or whoever was like, you're making 3D models. And they're like, okay, we don't really know how. Because I remember on the 3DS X and Y, someone like looked into the game files and found out that they had like a different individual model for every single like event, or maybe not an event, but like a behavior of the model. And they just had a different one for each single thing. Where normally you would just have a model that can just do those things, right? So they programmed it all wrong, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but like I remember people were looking in the files, and you could consolidate so much space in those original X and Y Pokemon games. They were just so poorly done, and it's crazy. And through those games and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they created 3D models of every Pokemon. And then each game they're like, oh, we can't add more Pokemon, we can only have this many, because it would take too long to make the 3D models. I'm like, you made them. You made them vector based, meaning you can scale them up. So you could scale them up from the 3DS game to the Switch. Easy peasy. So either they just don't want to do it, or they don't know what they're doing, or they did something wrong when they originally made the models, and just scaling them up won't work, which would be pathetic, because that just means they did them wrong fundamentally. And that's crazy. Like, dude, I've played bootleg mobile games that are Pokemon, so like China, you know, because they're the only ones you like can't sue, and they look so much better than any of the new Pokemon games. It's ridiculous. Like, and all the Pokemon move too. Like, Pikachu uses Thundershock. He literally like runs up to the Pokemon, Thundershocks them, and then the lightning bolt like goes and hits them. And that's not just because he's Pikachu. Every Pokemon has their own animations, and every move has its own, and it's amazing. And it's this for free bootleg Pokemon game from China, and it's just because if a real company was making Pokemon, it's such an easy game to make. It's so easy. That's why it's so embarrassing that they can't figure it out. Like, they're not doing anything complex. You look at like what Naughty Dog, or you know, the people at CD Projekt Red, and like the stuff they do. In the same amount of time, damn near, it takes us to get a Pokemon game nowadays, and it like pushes the boundaries of what you think is possible in video games. And then this company that literally is worth billions upon billions of dollars, just like, hey man, we did all right, we did pretty good. You know, this was an indie game for $10. You'd be like, this is decent. Oh, it's $70? Oh, it's made by Nintendo? It's made by a franchise that's made more money combined than anything? Like, more than Marvel? Okay. Like, you can't explain it. It's terrible. And you just have to put up with it. And you've had to put up with it pretty much since Black and White came out. They've really... I mean, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire I liked. But they didn't have to do any work on those from a lot of standpoints. So they actually had time to make that one okay. And I know that's a lot of the issues. They don't have time. They're given like a year to make these games because they have them rotating now, like Call of Duty does. You got to have a Call of Duty game every year, and so they have one company making one and another company making the other. So you really have 2 years to make the game instead of one. So they've been doing that with Pokemon lately, and it's just not enough time. Or wouldn't this be crazy? To have such a huge company, they hire more people, right? And then you wouldn't be under a time crunch anymore. But they don't want to do that, because why do that? They make a shitty game, and it still outsells their last shitty game. So why should they do it? And I think why they should do it is because I've always felt that Nintendo has a sense of pride in itself. Obviously not every studio that makes Nintendo games is the same. But I always felt there was something to be said about a Nintendo game. Its seal of approval. And, you know, it's not always the case. I mean, there's even times in the NES, SNES days, you see that little seal, they're like, oh, Nintendo gave it a go, and the game's, like, broken. But anything that was, like, closely related with Nintendo, you knew they tried their best for whatever that was worth. And with Pokemon, that's not the case, and I would just feel so embarrassed to tell anyone what I make. But they don't, and clearly it will never change. I mean, it's crazy how all these fan games and bootleg Chinese games run laps around current Pokemon games, but there's just something so innate to the success of Pokemon over the years that even when they make a shitty game, they make Sword and Shield, you know, they make what have you, you still like playing it because it's Pokemon. But you get so frustrated of how good this could be because they don't have to reinvent the wheel. They constantly think they have to reinvent the wheel. They constantly think we need a gimmick, we need this, we need that. You don't. If the game looked good, say it had Breath of the Wild level graphics, and that's not crazy good, but for Switch, that's pretty damn good. So say you had that level of graphics, and just the same gameplay you've always had. That's all we really want. Just polish. Like, the little things. You're like, oh my god, they even thought to animate this. Or that the Pokemon do this when you're not even looking. Just polish. I just feel everything's so empty. And then, now, because of the cool thing is open world games, because Breath of the Wild and Odyssey and all that stuff made so much money for them, and now Pokemon's got to be open world. So they're already a company that clearly don't have enough manpower / time / care to make a good small game. Now they got to make an open world game, and you can tell. Like, I liked Arceus, and I liked Violet and Scarlet, but every Pokemon game I've ever played, I replay all the time. Like, I can't wait to like play again and use a different party or whatnot. I haven't replayed any of them, and I don't know if I will. They just don't have the same allure. I don't care to revisit anything they created because the things they created, the sites they created, are not interesting. So that's really the biggest detriment to them. You know, I don't see a lot of resale value 40 years from now or 20 years from now for like the Switch games, where you know you try to buy any of the original 5 generation games physical copy. That shit's expensive. I just don't see it being it. Now, I mean, you know, who knows? It's Pokemon. It could be expensive as hell. Who knows? But that's just how I feel. I feel like they're gonna regret this when it's time for the kids who play it now to be our age. But like, I don't see how if you're playing it nowadays, you would grow up still having a love. Like, I don't see you're making adult fans out of kid fans anymore. I just don't see that happening anymore. But I could be wrong. Who knows? So I'm fighting Theo. He's garbage. And I'm really strong now. We're all 28 and 29. And he's 20. Yeah. Yeah, I really need a 4th Pokemon to help slow me down, because I am going way too many levels. Especially since, until you beat the 3rd gym, your level cap's 30 for people listening to you. And I have a traded Pokemon, so he isn't going to listen to me if I hit 31. So hopefully that doesn't happen. There's the starter. Flame Burst. 1 hit. Easy peasy. Level up. See, 2 are 29 now. Okay, so what we're doing here... I don't know what cares what happens. My Pokemon are the strongest. They were just weak from battling. So see, he's not crying. You know, he's making an excuse, sure, but he isn't running away anymore. He's growing up. He's growing up. Now he's like, I want to go challenge the gym leader. See ya. Perfectly mature in comparison to what we had to begin with. So, netball, sunny day, garbage. Ether, garbage. Oh, double battle. Okay, so this battle, I think you should be able to see the thing I was talking about last video, where it glitches and the Pokemon stays out. So look, Tancoon's dead, but he's still out there. And then he goes away. Now watch this. I'm going to kill Falloon. He stay out there. He's still out there even though he's dead. Now watch this. He's still out there. He's still out there. The battle's over. They're standing there. He's still out there. So like I said, it doesn't affect the game. But it definitely is a bug. It is a bug. Okay, so this is where the 3rd gym leader is. I'm exploring. Okay, she has an egg. My party's full. So let's go. I wonder what's in the egg. I don't know. You know, I have my starter still in my party. And he has warm body, which cuts the amount of time you need to have an egg for it to hatch in half. So it should hatch kind of fast. So this place is like a resort. So like people you talk to here are like, you know, I was gonna be a good trainer, and then I came here and was like, why should I do anything? This place is awesome. So here's the casino. I'm not gonna play any of those stupid games. This is just looks like a restaurant. Nothing to do here. So we're leaving. There's a beach. Nothing. Oh, an item. Fuller store. That's a good item. And oh, an item. Coconut milk. So see, that guy was trying to charge me 800 bucks for coconut milk, when you can just take it off the ground for free. So here's where your dad works. This is like the biggest station on the east side of this continent, Tandor. Oh, there's your dad. What are you doing here? Oh, you have Pokeballs and a Pokedex. That's right. You're doing research for Bambo. You're a trainer now, and everything. ... TJ, I'm at a loss for words. It's been so long since I saw you. I should have expected your arrival. After all, there is a gym here. It makes sense that you would come here. Okay, Dad. Still, I always wanted to give you a special tour. This is the bigger station in all of West Tandor. Ah, I had West right. As of now, I'm the chief. It's a job with lots of responsibilities, so you understand I've been busy. Too busy to visit you. That's bullshit. I've been too busy. Yeah, you're fine. Of course, I was the same when I was your age. I was a junior cadet. So how's Theo? Still following in your footsteps. You have the makings of a good leader. Just like your old man. He's a horrible father. He's horrible. There's a letter from Cameron at the new nuclear plant. Says construction is proceeding as usual. Soon the new plant will be operational. He works fast. Still a new one so soon after the old one. So soon. It's been a decade. But it, you know, a death of a loved one still feels fresh, I assume. Your mother, she disappeared. So see, he won't call her dead. No, she just disappeared. She isn't dead. Okay. Alright, Dad. I mean, with this amount of radiation, she'd be like a ghoul from Fallout by now. But alright, Dad. You handle yourself well. You're my kid, after all. Horrible father. I raised you well not being there. It's because of my genes. That's why you're cool. What? Oh, Revive was on the ground. Can't go there. I gotta deliver the letter. Oh, a sharp beak. That's awesome. Now, my Rojo's air slash is even stronger. Oh, dude, the twins are back. Wonder if the glitch will happen again. Let's see. Bubble Beam, air cutter. I don't think Bubble Beam will kill him in one hit. Oh no, he disappeared. Maybe it's only that. No, because it was happening. Huh. I don't know. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. Weird. See, they're kind of keeping up. See, they're level 25. So they're kind of there. I mean, with a rain-infused Bubble Beam, he killed Rojo. So, I mean, they can deal damage. They're not terrible. Thief, garbage, full heal, garbage. Not garbage, but I don't care. Go heal since they killed Rojo. Oh, there's a sailor. So we're going to go to the new nuclear power plant, which is on the same island that the fallout happened, that took the life of my mother. So they did it on the same island, and how they're able to do it on the same island is, in this game, the radiation only lasted 10 years. So after 10 years, it became safe for humans to go back. But all those Pokemon just lived there. And I remember that happening in Chernobyl. Like, the animals just adapted and just lived there, where humans wouldn't be able to live there. So, if the Pokemon stayed there for a decade and are still alive, I assume they adapted. So this guy's like, they're just kids, they shouldn't be able to go. And then he radios Cameron, and Cameron's like, let him go. He's like, alright. The boss said it was cool. So, here we go. Oh, it's raining. It's ominous. This is where Theo's dad works. There's Cameron. Follow me, please. So this is where you're gonna get a lot of lore. So this is the first like spot that's important to the story. I'm very proud of you, Theo. You're so cool. We ain't seen nothing yet. Just you wait. I'm gonna be the best trainer in the world. So look, he radioed over that the letter was coming, but they couldn't radio over what the letter contained. How does that make sense? So I think this was just a ploy to make me come here. For whatever reason. Ever since she died, your father's been fixated on this place. I was there on that day. I was called in to do repairs. Everything was working perfectly, then all of a sudden a malfunction happened. I tried to save people. The last time I saw Lucio, she was heading deeper inside. I called out to her, but she disappeared. They never found her. So the day he shows up for repairs, the plant explodes. Okay. Perhaps seeing the plant provide you with much needed closure, but it's very dangerous. Although the radiation has cleared, there's something strange about the Pokemon here. So see, they adapted. You get to explore an abandoned power plant. That's cool. I want to come. No, Theo, you're going back. But Dad. He's like, as your father, I would never let you go here. But see, TJ's father, piece of shit. So, you know, what can you do? I can't disobey his orders. That's so funny. He's like, no, if he was my kid, no. But he's not, so have fun, kid. No fair. Life isn't fair, Theo. And as for you, you have permission to go about the island. The island's plant is to the south. You ought to be cautious. Some of the workers here are also trainers. They might want to fight you. Yeah, there's some workers here. They may want to beat the shit out of you. So don't worry. It's normal. We're cool. Alright, so we're where my mother died. So let's save and start exploring. So this is where you can heal. I don't think I need to heal, but might as well. This person will give you rudimentary supplies. Alright, noted. This guy's explaining how nuclear power plants work. Very neat. Everyone's just standing in the rain. That'd be interesting if it started raining. Like, people either get umbrellas or walk inside. They have like walk in and out animations instead of just walking back and forth. That would make the game feel more alive. I remember in Mombasa City in black and white how like there's people constantly walking to like get to work and go shopping. This is a nuclear Pokemon. So normally you've seen him before. He's psychic, poison, but as a nuclear version, he's something nuclear. So I don't remember if he keeps the poison or the psychic part. But they are interesting. So I don't know if any of you have ever played Pokemon Coliseum for the GameCube. But in that game there were Shadow Pokemon. And what was special about Shadow Pokemon is they had special moves that are Shadow type. And what's special about that is Shadow type moves are super effective no matter what to non-Shadow Pokemon. So fire, grass, water type doesn't matter. A Shadow type move is super effective to you. So something similar to this but different. So nuclear type moves are always super effective. So that is the same. But to balance it, unlike what Pokemon Coliseum does, every move is super effective to a nuclear besides nuclear moves. So if you hit a nuclear Pokemon with Tackle, it's super effective. You hit a nuclear poison with I don't know, water, which should just be whatever. It's super effective. So they're dangerous to use. Because yes, you're always going to have super effective, but they're always super effective to you. So it's like a double-edged sword scenario. So, obviously it's risky to use them. Like, they're very strong, but obviously very weak. The Eevee we're going to have, that is the evolution that's unique to only this game. It's a nuclear version of Eevee. Nucleon. So he's going to be nuclear. So we're going to have to deal with that. And I think that's an interesting thing. Because not only are we using a Pokemon that is a variant, which is neat. But it's also using the type that was created for this game. So I feel using at least one nuclear Pokemon is a necessity if I'm going to properly review it. Because that's what a lot of this game is nuclear, being a type, the 17th type. So we're going to get a good go of it as soon as we get Eevee, whenever that happens. It's in a city called Venessi City, and then you can find them in the grass in Route 13. But I don't know which is first. I mean, I could look it up, but I mean, it isn't like a city. I'm just gonna skip a city. I'm gonna go there eventually. So what's the point? That way I could be surprised, like, oh, we're going to here, and then it pops up. You're in Venessi City. I'm like, Eevee. So whatever. So he's telling me to go in there. It's the last place your mother was seen. He's been here many times and never found evidence of what went wrong or what happened to her. And so he's giving you a tracker. So since this is a dilapidated place, in case something goes wrong, they can find me and save me. So inside of this reactor, there's these pages. So let's see if we can read them. They're burnt, so it's hard to read. Progress is something in codename 092 from radiation something biofiber. It reconstructs. So some experiment 092 was taking place here, and it can reconstruct its molecules, it sounds like. Self-healing, like that self-healing plastic you may have seen before. So they were working on something down here. There's more pieces of paper, we just gotta find them. So we'll find them when we find them. I got really unlucky in here with the RNG. You know, when I was talking earlier in that cave that it felt like every few steps, this was legitimately every step. Okay, here we go. Report number 3. The MRI, anomalous brainwave, the specimen, incapable of independent thought, they're trying to suppress something, attempting to suppress, I don't know, anger, rage, something from it. But it's not capable of thought, so it essentially made a zombie, well, not a zombie, a brainwashed Pokemon. It can only act upon a command. That's interesting. And a problem. So they were working on something. Now, did my mom know about it or not? I don't know. Maybe that's why she ran down there. She didn't run down there to mitigate damage. Her life's work was down there, hidden. And she was like, I gotta save Mewtwo, or whatever it is. I don't know. But they were definitely working on something here that has nothing to do with a power plant. See? Every step. It's ridiculous. And every attack is a 1-hit KO because every attack's super effective. So it's just annoying. Okay, so that door was locked. That's why I turned around. We gotta find a key. Yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to use Nucleon, because if every Pokemon dies this easily, I don't see how it's gonna be viable. Look at that. Everything kills them. Okay. Here's the last page. Report number 4. Read it. Yes. The interface. The final test today. Generator assumed full control of the specimen. The something chief researcher, Dr. something, granted clearance. So maybe they granted Cameron clearance to, like, Chief da-da-da showed up, the doctor was granted them clearance. So maybe he wasn't there for repairs. He was there for a little bit more. Like maybe he was the boss. He said chief. So maybe he had experiments going on here that Lucille didn't know about. I don't know. And then that is why the meltdown happened. He caused the meltdown because of his experiments. And so she thought she could stop it, not knowing that the reason it was happening was whatever. But maybe she was the doctor. So maybe they were both working on it. I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. We have a key. So we're going to open the door. Maybe there'll be another file or something. There's a door. Open it. Okay, there's a file on the table. But see how I'm getting like no experience from this? Because I'm at such a higher level. Alright, last one. Number 5. Something has been breached of confidentiality from henceforth. Something shall be relocated to a high security underground server. So I assume the data. Project 092 has been terminated. Okay. And that's it. So they're hiding their ass, saving their ass. Hide all the data, kill the thing. So something's in suspension. We can execute restoration. Oh, air. Okay, so what happened here? I fell through a hole. I fell. I know it doesn't really show you, but that's what happened. I fell. And something was down here. I used the thing to talk to it, and it just says kill intruder. So perhaps this is one of the specimens. They said they can only follow a thing. So maybe this was designed to be a security guard. Kill intruder. But see, he's nuclear. He's the evolution of that straw guy. And so, I mean, he's strong, but I'm gonna be super effective. Yeah. Oh, and you may have saw me catch a Pokemon earlier. I caught a nuclear version of his lesser form. I did that for a reason. I'm not gonna use him in my party, but the way you evolve Eevee into Nucleon is you have to have a nuclear person on your party when you level up Eevee. So he'll be in my party just to evolve Nucleon, and then that's it. The radiation makes you feel woozy. You struggle to keep your eyes open, and you pass out. Now that's actually true. If you get a lot of radiation exposure, the first symptoms is like throwing up and passing out. So that's true. And so now this is Cameron talking to me through the little GPS, like, he's not responding, let's get him. So they saved me. Thank Arceus. Said thank God. That's good. You came soon. You didn't reply on the radio. Seems like you fell. See, I fell in a hole. Vital signs are good. No broken bones. They are detecting radiation in me though. But they treated you for radiation, and so you should be okay. So it must have been low levels. Low levels you can treat pretty well. We came up with a lot of good ways to treat radiation over the years. From that incident in Japan, I think it was thorium or thermium. It wasn't uranium. It was something else. Of a spill, and 3 people got exposed. 1 person got like, so over the course of a year, like a safe amount of radiation is like 1 something. I don't know what acronym they use to measure it, but it's 1 of that. So over the course of a year, you get like 1 total. So these 3 people were exposed. 1 person who was sitting across the room got 3,000 right away. Another person who was standing real close got 8,000. And to put in perspective, 8,000 is like the level of like, if it's any more, we can't save you. And at 8,000, it's maybe 50-50 maybe. And then another person in the room got 22,000. So a lost cause for sure. But they didn't know that at the time. They thought he got 8,000 just like the other guy. So they tried their best to save him. But 22,000, if they'd have known that, they'd have known there was no hope of saving him. But through treating him as hard as they did, they invented a lot of cool things to help in the future if we ever had radiation exposure again. So it was horrible what happened to that guy, but it definitely advanced science a lot. So, you know, you gotta take a silver lining with some things. But yeah, so since I know all about that story, I heard all about like what radiation sickness is, you know. Because before learning all about that, I only knew about like Fallout. And all Fallout really did is it made your vision blurry if you get too much radiation. And your stats went down. Which you can't really put like a real world one-to-one with stats. But it's an interesting story if you ever look into it. I mean, it's sad, you know, someone going through that much pain and dying. But the dedication of the doctors and scientists was really inspiring. It happened in like the 80s too. It wasn't that long ago. So this is the gym leader. It's inside of like a library. It's not a library, but it looks like a library. There's no books in here, but it looks like a library. I don't know why. But anyway, yeah, the next gym leader's in here. She's a surfer. Well, she's not a surfer girl. I shouldn't call her that. She's a lifeguard. She probably surfs in her off time, but she's a lifeguard. She got saved by a Pokemon once. She was gonna drown, and some random Pokemon just saved her. And so she dedicated her life to being a lifeguard, to save others. So, noble cause. But, so she has water Pokemon. Well, I shouldn't say water, beach Pokemon. So, Pokemon you'd find around or in the water. That's why we're going against a lot of frogs and stuff. You know, radiation is a really weird thing too. Like, there isn't like a thing we can just put on you and radiation just like goes away. Like, we can put a thing to make it better, but really the only cure is to treat the symptoms until you get over it. Because you will get over it or die. That's your two options. So the only real treatment is they keep you alive and mitigate the damage the symptoms do to you until you ride it out. So it's really interesting that there's really nothing we can do, you know, because I don't know, you would think there would just be something you could rub and it, you know, because you're like, say you're developing photos, like you put an agent on it and it starts reacting, and then you dip the photos in the next solution and it stops the reaction from happening. So you would think you could just like rub something on you or intravenously put something in you and it's no longer radioactive anymore. Like, the damage is done and that has to heal, but it's no longer actively radioactive. But no, it's really just gotta pass through, just leave you, and hopefully you survive until it's gone. It's really interesting, because you would just think like a pathogen or something, but that's how it worked. But radiation isn't really like that. It's pretty interesting stuff. I remember this one guy, I don't remember his name, but like, he was studying a certain radiation, and his whole family studied it too. Like, they didn't study it, but they were like his workers. So like, his house was built on top of a vein of this radioactive mineral. I don't remember what it was. Plutonium? I don't know. Radium. It was radium. I remember. It was like radon. I remember. Okay. So he would like be doing experiments and trying to figure out how this stuff worked, while his family would be in the basement like mining it and refining it. And when people were just getting sick and dying, but at the time they didn't know what that radiation made you sick at all. And so like they just kept working even though it was killing them. And when it eventually ended up killing the scientist guy, along with many of his family members, but when it eventually killed him, when they were doing tests on his body, like he was like the most radioactive man like ever. Like, so like that guy I told you about who had 22,000, that means he was exposed to it. What? So he himself wasn't radioactive. You see what I'm saying? This guy had so much radioactive material, be it breathing it in or ingesting it accidentally or what have you. He himself was radioactive. Yeah. Yeah, he was. I don't remember the exact amount he was radioactive, but he was. He would set off a Geiger counter for sure. Alright. Callie, the lifeguard. Here we go. Tubjaw versus a fire Pokemon. Oh no. But I have Sharp Beak, which increases the strength of my already strong moves. Yeah. Oh, he flinched. Okay, so I'm level 32, and her weakest Pokemon is 26. So I want to say I'm still too strong. I mean, we'll see how this battle shapes up, but I want to say I'm still too strong. Okay, this is really interesting. So in a gym leader battle, they can use items, but they can't use items infinitely. So since she has already used 2 healing items, she's done. She's not going to use another healing item this entire fight. So when they do that and he still didn't even hit me, it makes these fights so easy. You don't have to worry about them healing. So he's Psychic Water, so we'll use Beat Up on him. But I still have the egg, so it's only 5 hits instead of 6. Unfortunately. 5 still might kill him. Oh, that was a crit. Maybe. No. See, if I didn't have the egg, I would have killed him without taking damage. But, see, he's ignoring my orders. He's too strong. And so he got to rest when I would have just finished him off. It's frustrating. Oh, he used it again. I probably want to get a critical again this time, though. Nope. Well, will he listen to me this time? No. He's still asleep. Get another chance. Hey. Excellent, excellent. See, I want to keep him out because of Moxie, but he won't listen to me. You know, and so like it's a trade-off. So we'll switch out. That's a snail. It's probably water ground, like Mudkip. Oh, he flinched. And like I said, they won't use a healing item this time, so because he flinched. Easy dub. Dubs in the chat, boys. And this guy's part grass, so let's get him, boys. Oh no, I missed. Oh my god, Crabhammer is so strong. And a crit. Damn it. I want Rojo to still get experience though. So we'll send out Barrel and use that revive I got from behind the Poké Center. Get Roho back. I have Sturdy Dummy, but that move deals damage after the attack, so you still got me. Touché. Yeah. Hopefully he'll listen to me, at least a little. Brick Break. Ooh, Leaf Blade. That might be a crit. No. Oh, he still used Brick Break. Excellent. Oof. Okay, so I know this. I'll survive this, unless it's a crit. Oh, I didn't attack. Revenge was gonna get him. I gotta switch out. We'll let Rap Torch get torched. Yeah. I don't think I'll miss again. Okay, I hope I don't miss again. Air Slash. Got him. Another gym leader in the bag. Well, that's it for this one, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.